Welcome back to the Steel and Velvet podcast. I am Macey Marks.
And I'm Nash. I forgot we were recording for a second.
Yep, right there.
We're back.
Only been a few months. August, I think.
Yeah.
So, how many months is that? 6 months? Almost.
Close to that. It's been a while.
Not too good.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. But, so, last time we were on or recording, it was August. So, we were not married yet. In October.
It was September.
Was it September?
I think so. Because that's when we
Either way, it's been a while.
Everything was kind of happening and going on.
Right. So, yeah. So, we got married in October. Nash moved to Charleston, where we're at now, in September. And then after the wedding and everything, we both moved up here. So,
yep. Yeah, I was up in Charleston for 3 weeks on my own. And then came up here. I'm a youth pastor at a church here in Charleston. It's been going great. Married life is great. Went to Hawaii on the honeymoon. Mm-hmm. I think Macey included a couple of our clips and videos from Hawaii on there. So honeymoon was great. Married life is going swimmingly. I would say. But yeah, what would you say? What's a recap for some people while we've been gone? What are some things that you've noticed about being together, living together, married life, whatever? What is it?
Recap or like my favorite moments? Can I do that? Not moments, but just, I guess, perks.
Yeah, perks.
We only dated for a year and then we were engaged for a year. So it's not like we've been together a crazy long amount of time. But
what most people think is a crazy long time.
Yeah. But anticipating living together and especially being engaged for almost a year, it felt like it was going to be forever until I was able to live with him and be just like on our own. I've never really lived on my own. Neither had he. So it's been fun to like be able to create our own routines and kind of like build, like, since, I mean, everything's new. So we moved to a new city, new church, new community. And like, so not only have I been learning how to be a wife and how to just love him differently because it requires a lot more. But we've been able to explore the city.
You sound needy.
No, but it's different than you got to leave and cleave. We've talked about that. I think in episodes before is like I've had to depend on you for a lot more than I would have when we were dating or engaged.
Absolutely.
But also like I'm running a house now while you work. So it's like, you know what I mean? They're very different. It's very different.
It is very different.
But yes, and exploring the city was what I was going to say. Like being able to have a new community and meet people and then also explore our new town on the weekends is fun.
Yeah, let me just tell you guys, this city is Macey's kind of town. She can go out, be out of the house and go explore the city. There's a beach. Mountains are...
Lots of coffee shops.
A couple hours away. So many coffee shops. It's almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
So Macey's like...
Whereas Nash,
almost in heaven over here.
Nash can stay inside for days at a time and be... That sounds so bad. I just mean like you
so
can...
now I'm needy and I'm just a slug.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No. That's
what?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. I guess this episode's on how to, be encouraging to your spouse. Maybe filtering what you say to your spouse.
Anywho, I really like being married. My favorite part is just being able to wake up next to you and, I don't know. Yeah. Make you food is fun because you get really happy when I make you food.
I like that part.
You like that part.
Food is good.
Yeah.
You just make fun of how I said
a little bit. Okay, what's yours? What's your recap favorite moments of being married?
Yeah, I think just living with your best friend.
Just living in general is the life.
Living it up. Living it up here in CHS. No, I think it's what I think we've talked about this before, but just like you're really living with your best friend. Like I come home from work every day. It's like, oh, that's my best friend Macey, but she's also my wife whom I love so much.
Pretty cool.
And it has not gotten old yet, and I don't think it will.
I think hope it wouldn't.
As long as we keep intentionality with it, it will never get old. And I don't think it would. I mean, you have such a pretty little face that I come home to. But also something is the nudge that we both felt about coming up here has equaled to, I feel like, a real peace knowing that we're walking in God's will for us
in
this season. Not to say this is forever, but this is something he's called us to now. And the fact that, he gave us clarity on that, and we're where we know that we need to be right now. There's a lot of peace, even in tough seasons. Like when we first came up here, we went through a really hard couple of weeks. But because of the knowledge that we knew we were supposed to be up here, it brought a lot more strength when it came to the situation, a lot more peace when it came to those situations.
Well, also, I think we mentioned it in the last episode that we filmed, but coming up here Nash applied a while ago. At this point, it was almost a year ago. April.
Yeah.
And he didn't hear back until July, so we kind of had forgotten about it. And so, excuse me, it just everything fell into place. We got an apartment in our budget. We got it was just
less
a ton
than our
of
budget.
It was just a lot of things falling into place that isn't explained by anything but God. And the community at the church that we started going to is just insane, and the way people have kind of supported us since we've been up here. Like Nash said, we had a rough first month up here, circumstantially, but because of our trust that God was there and he wanted us here and we were here for a reason, we didn't fight. We weren't angry with each other, which we very easily could have based on the circumstances that we had. But I agree. That reminds me of something I heard this past week there's two important moments of a married couple's life, and it's the first one is the day you get married, and then the second day is the day you find out why you're married.
Yeah.
So it's
really good.
We know we're up here for a reason. I feel like we kind of know what it is. It's for your ministry and to build that up. Our ministry, my bad. But just what does that look like exactly? How can our marriage honor God? How is it already honoring God? What can we do? Because there's clearly a reason why we are here, and he's paving a way for that. So that's what we've been up to. Yeah.
Been very fun.
But, so this is coming out, we're filming this the 13th. We're putting it out the 14th. 14th is Valentine's Day.
It is. That's the case. I love Valentine's Day.
We've celebrated 2.
I know.
Third one. That's crazy. That's our 3rd Valentine's Day. In the grand scheme of things, what am I saying? In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem like that big to other people, but to us, that's a lot. 3 years. Yeah. 3rd. Oh my gosh.
Pretty cool.
Yes. So what I wanted to do, because I kind of planned this episode out, not to throw Nash under the bus. I'm just kidding.
She did plan this out. I'm just
kidding.
Came home from work.
He works, so.
And now we're here.
Yes. Okay. So I planned it out. So I wanted to focus on just the concept of prioritizing dating. Dating isn't just for when you're dating. It's for engagement. It's for married. It's for when you have kids. It's for when your kids are grown. I mean, you date always. But what does dating look like? Dating is very different to everybody. I mean, I've heard this kind of on repeat a lot recently of people tend to show love to their spouse in their desired love language. So my love language is physical touch. My first one is physical touch, but Nash's isn't. And I tend to overdo, if I'm wanting to show him intentionality, I tend to overdo physical touch and rub his arm or whatever it may be.
I wouldn't say overdo though.
Not overdo, but that's how I show my love, whereas he is a words of affirmation guy. So that should be my first instinct is to do that. Give you words of affirmation rather than physical touch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not that they're all bad. I mean, everybody has a little bit of all of them. But because yours is words of affirmation, I should prioritize that one. But dating isn't also just going on dates. It's just pursuing your spouse in their love language always and finding new ways to do that. Because also this past week, I feel like I got convicted that I was not kind of doing enough in that area. I could be more creative with the way that I love you. Like I said, we got in routines and how much of a blessing it is to have routines with a husband now. I get to do that. It is a blessing. But I don't want to get lazy in how I love you, because then that would, No bueno. Get it? Like, that's not good.
Routines can also stunt growth. Yes.
So, what is my... All right, I already said my love language, I guess.
I think yours are physical touch and quality time.
How do you show me love? How do you typically show me love?
I think I'm trying harder with quality time.
Yes.
I think we do that. But I would say I give a lot more words of affirmation than you are probably
it makes
wanting.
sense.
Because that's my, like what we were talking about before, that's my first love language. And it's not that any of them are like, you never hear like, I love you, I'm so proud of you. And you're like, oh my gosh, that is not what I wanted to hear right now. I would have rather given me a hug.
But it's not like I like go off of that. Like, it's sweet to hear. And it's nice that he thinks like when he tells me he's proud of me or stuff like that, or he is like tells me I'm beautiful.
Said that to me.
That is so bad. You can't say that.
She tells me all the time.
I can get better, I know. But
that was a joke. Don't even take it seriously.
I am going to take it seriously because I do need to get better at it because I'm kind of slacking. But yes, I forget what I was saying at this point.
No, like it's almost like it's just degrees of what you like. That's all it is. And so...
Yeah, everybody's going to like all of them, but some more than others.
You're still going to feel comforted by me saying I love you, I'm proud of you, or just giving you advice when you're seeking it, or I don't know, whatever. I'm just giving you general words, or I'm in conversation with you. But what you really probably would have loved was...
Let's go on a walk. Or
going on a walk for quality time, or... watching a show that you want to watch, or a YouTuber that you want to watch, or
oh my gosh,
sitting on the couch and hugging you.
That is a love language of its own. I follow this girl named Brooke Bush, and I have been watching her for like 6 years. Nash could not care less. That's the phrase about this YouTuber. But then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, we should watch that together." That is like a love language to me. It makes me so happy when you want to sit there and watch the stuff that I like, because it just shows like even if you're not actually interested, pretending like you have interest in it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested for you.
Good. Well, I like that. Good. Okay. So, what am I trying to say? What is your spouse's love language? Think about your spouse's love language and how you typically show them love, I guess, and try and evaluate what you need to change and what ways you need to do it. And then we listed out the 5 love languages.
But can I just say, the reason why that's so important, at least for us, because we started this early on in dating, is it can change drastically to where even me, I think I would have been physical touch. I was physical touch early on in dating, and now I feel like maybe that is a little more quality time, and probably also in acts of service I've gone up a little bit. So when you do stuff for me, or if it's I come home from work and there's food already ready, or she's gonna make me eggs or gonna make me a protein shake, I do all that stuff. But when you ask to do it for me, it means a lot. And so it might not be my primary, but just keeping those conversations active can change how you operate in your relationship. Because even if it's the little love language, you're like, oh yeah, that I think I'm growing in that a little bit more. That might become a primary if you see that in your spouse and you're intentional of how you do that, throughout your week or months or however long you're doing
and just routinely asking, making it a priority to do that, because if not, then you're not going to know when to change. And we were reading our Devo this morning. I forget exactly what it was about, but do you remember what it said about in the first Devo that we read?
What it was talking about.
It was
something similar to
because
this,
it was saying people tend to show their love languages the way they want. So the question was prompting, like, do you feel like you need to almost like nag your spouse, but not actually, kind of like going around the bush instead of just saying I need this and I need this, which because we've been doing this whole love language talk for as long as we've been dating. I mean, I would say
it's been a consistent
at least a month in we started doing this. But beginning that and knowing our love languages has allowed us to have open communication about that, because it's not like if we didn't have our love languages down and know how to love each other and routinely ask how it is and what each other's is at the time, we could have very easily just have like make passive aggressive comments to each other of like,
we did that all the
well, I need, or wouldn't it be nice to go on a walk?
Yeah.
Instead, I could just be like, I would feel really loved if we could go on a walk.
Nice day outside.
Because it opens
so nice. My shoes are clean.
So nice outside.
So nice.
We should get the shoes dirty and go on a walk. Like,
yeah.
I just think that talking that way opens a door to, I mean, it's just not respectful, and we're called to respect one another. Guys are called to respect their wives, and wives are called to respect their husbands. Mm-hmm. So if you don't practice that, then you're just going to be negative, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. It comes back to the basic of it, are we acting Christ-like or not? Yeah. I don't think you look anywhere in the scripture, Jesus was not passive-aggressive.
Yeah.
And so just being passive-aggressive to my wife is nowhere near loving Christ.
Yeah.
Or loving, my wife as Christ loved the church.
But also practicing this when you're engaged or when you're dating, because just waiting till you're married doesn't really set you up for success at all. Not that it's not possible, but
it's never a bad time to start it, though.
No, it's never a bad time to start it. But if you're dating now, like we urge you to start practicing this, because as you're dating and getting engaged and all this stuff, you're meant to start practicing the leaving and cleaving process. So leaving your family and cleaving to your new spouse. Obviously, that's going to be very blunt when you're married. Like when you're married, you are meant to only cleave to your husband or your wife, whatever it may be. But that practice can start. We read that in one, I forget the name of the book, but it was like a dating for couples, Christian couples.
Yeah.
So she just really reiterated over and over the fact of leaving, cleaving. So yes. So we have 5 of the love languages, and then maybe just some ways if your spouse's love languages is whatever we're going to say, ways to
make them feel loved.
Yeah. This Valentine's season.
Yeah.
So the first one I wrote down was acts of service. I feel like it's pretty easy if you're living together. Like if Nash was acts of service, I should make him dinner, like he said, or clean the house, because it's nice to come home to a clean house, or make the bed in the morning. Like I love making the bed in the morning. I don't think you like making it a ton.
It's not as healthy.
It's good.
That's
so false. That is so false.
Say there is bacteria that grows under your bed.
Okay.
If you cover it up, look it up.
I don't care. So
look it up.
I love you. I'm not doing that. But like making the bed in the morning, or like he said, making him a protein shake when he gets back from the gym, because that is like a love language in and of its own. So acts of service, helping around the house, making dinner. Do you have any other ones? The only thought that came to my head was cleaning, like doing chores, but I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay, that seems pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the next one was quality time. Because for me, what I would love is if he planned dates. Like he even got home today and I was like,
not just go on dates, not just
plan
ask her
plan the dates.
What you want to do. Yeah. That was something that we learned early on in dating too, is you almost get anxious sometimes planning them. And so it meant just as much to you that I was asking out for a date, but it meant just as much that I was saying, this is where we're going to go. We got this reservation, or we're going to go to the park, or we're going to go to the beach and watch the sunset at 5:30. It was like, boom, all I have to do is get ready and go.
Yeah. I had like severe like decision-making anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I planned a couple dates and they just went horrible in my eyes. Like Nash said he enjoyed them, so I'm going to take his word for it. But like in my eyes, these dates were just so bad. It didn't live up to my what's it called? The standard that I had in my head, or my expectation. And so I just like got date anxiety, like not anxiety, but if I planned it, I was just like freaking out thinking about it the whole time, which I'm like, why am I doing that? But so for quality time, I love when he plans dates.
Guys, plan the dates.
Yes. Or if girls, like vice versa. I mean, if the guys thing is quality time, but I also did because I said it 4 times. I said, put your phones away and be intentional with conversation. We heard recently that if like a phone's like even in the room, that makes the conversation a lot more surface level than it would be if you.
That's so true.
Like, no, it is. Cause
I feel that even if it's with a friend and if they pull out their phone, or even if it's on the counter or whatever, it's like they're not fully committed. So yeah, it changes to almost surface level. So if that's happening with my friends, then what is my wife thinking about it? What is my boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance?
Like, put it away in a whole different room. You don't need it. Doesn't need to be face up. Like, just be tuned into what your spouse or girlfriend or fiance is saying. Like, just phones away if you're wanting
Bluetooth connected to...
Be Bluetooth connected to God.
to your
spouse.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse.
You know?
That's the title of this episode.
Bluetooth
connected.
Wireless. No, I don't know.
Wireless love.
Wireless love.
We're writing a book next year about that.
Okay, guys.
Not actually.
The Marks. Wireless love.
Why do I actually like that? Anyway.
Are we going to do it? Oh my God.
Anyway.
I'm just kidding.
Touch.
The next one is touch.
Physical touch.
Under this, I just put be intentional with touch. Like, that isn't already
No, but that can be difficult.
Just intentionality, because I don't even know. I think I started out physical touch. I don't know if any other girls are like this. I feel like it's pretty rare not rare, but not as common for girls to be physical touch. I feel like it tends to be quality time or acts of service or gifts. But just like when he initiates, like holding my hand in public or giving me a kiss or whatever it may be, that is like the best, because I just naturally do it. I could just be like this all day, like just touching him and like grabbing his arm or massaging his shoulders. Like, that is just my go-to. If we're in public, I want to be near him, and at home I want to be near you. When we watch reels, I am literally laying on top of him. I don't know why. I just like being near him. So whenever it's reciprocated and I don't even have to like do that, that just is insane. And so I assume guys probably feel that same way when they're when they're girls initiate. That was so cringy. Okay. And then fourth is words of affirmation. I meant to do this today when you got home from work, and then I forgot. So that's where I need to get better. But I was going to leave you a note, and like...
Notes are good.
Yeah, I was going to leave him a note.
You can write in soap on a mirror.
I just realized I forgot that. Yeah, he did that and surprised me with that. Yeah.
Like I wrote... See, and this is another example of me using my primary love language to make you feel loved. And you still appreciated it.
Yes, I loved it. And what you did with it.
It was a Bible verse.
Yes.
Because you were struggling with something, and so I put a Bible verse up to encourage you.
Because I didn't even see it till he left for work.
Yeah.
So, for men, I urge you to use this like Nash did, like encourage your wives or your girlfriends or your significant other through scripture, and girls too. I mean, if you read something that you feel is powerful or that your spouse would like or that would encourage them, don't just think it or wait till they come home. Like, send them a text, send them something, write them a note. Because if we're going to try and model after Christ, we need to remind one another of that. If you're not doing a Devo, I mean, like just being tied into the word, doing a Devo and sending these things that remind you of your spouse or something you want to model after that you read in the word. So my second thing for words of affirmation was sending them encouraging texts throughout the day. So I feel like we kind of already touched on that. But yes. And then last one, gifts for girls. If your girl is a gift, flowers. I love me some flowers. Even if they're from the side of the road, I love flowers. So I think that's a pretty good go-to. There's also like a trend going around right now that people say a lot of times that the only flowers men get are the ones they get at their funeral. So everybody's like getting their significant, like getting their men flowers. So you could do that too. Or
that is kind of a depressing thought,
isn't it?
That I would be thinking
would you like flowers?
No, I'm okay.
I'll get you roses.
I'm okay.
You don't need to cry. It's okay.
I'm tearing up right now.
Yeah. Okay. Something they've wanted for a while, get them that. Or if they didn't want it, if it's something you think or like reminds you of them, do that. But those are the 5 love languages. Just suggestions if you don't know what to do for them, because tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so you could surprise them with anything, even if it's a note. If you're broke, just write them a note. That goes so far. Go pick a flower off the side of the road, or go big and buy them a Rolex. I don't know, whatever stage you are
whatever you got a budget for
in life. So that is it.
Whatever Dave Ramsey would approve of. Go
Yeah.
for it.
And then I recorded one earlier today that I think is going to come out next, and it is about God's will.
You just shared something. You shared something
I
that
shared
was
no
something encouraging to you and something that you realized.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yes, just I was reading Genesis and the story of Joseph. Why was I going to say Josiah? Story of Joseph.
Also there.
So if you are interested in that, it's just going to be me in the next episode, but that is coming up. And
next Wednesday.
Yes, this one is coming out
tomorrow,
the 14th.
Yeah,
well,
the 14th.
Today when they're listening to it,
yes,
or whatever. So Valentine's Day.
And once you guys, I want to leave you guys something. Once you start doing this, know that God honors it. He loves it. He loves you as a couple. But there's also an enemy who hates you and hates that you're doing this and hates that you're being more intentional with it. So yes, love language, all that's great and it's going to help your relationship. But holy smokes, pray. Pray a lot together. Because once you start doing this stuff, you're going to feel how close you're getting and how loved you feel through it. And so Satan's going to be coming at you. And so he's going to be right behind your heels coming for you. So
you may be fighting more often or just more sensitive, but that is just the enemy trying to tear you guys apart because you're doing a good thing by prioritizing.
And so going in with that
mindset,
kind of hindsight, vision of okay, the enemy's going to be trying to attack. It helps you
prepare,
limit those fights, and
not that it's not going to happen, but just even if you start to fight, like nope,
we're good. Right who it's from.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good point.
So happy to be back.
Yes, there's a reason why you're married. And you should prioritize your dating life because you never know who you're going to honor or bless through your marriage. So that's it.
This is Steel and Velvet episode...
Back. This is 13.
13?
Yes, this is episode 13.
Have a great Valentine's Day, people.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Buy some chocolate and flowers.
Yes. And then, girls, get your guys some flowers. They are going to love them. Maybe.
Okay.
See you guys next week.
See you next week.
Bye.